So let us solve this pin jointed structure in this video. So this is your pin jointed structure. This is having two members. This frame is having two members, member AB and member BC. Member AB and BC are connected at joint B. Okay, so now for this frame we need to analyze and we need to determine what are the forces that are acting in the element AB and in the element BC. Okay, to solve this, first what we need to do is to identify the joints which are free joints, which are not support joints. Okay, so these are supports, so we will not consider them. This is the free joint which we need to consider, and this is the joint which will undergo the displacement. Okay, so if you tell me what is the kinematic indeterminacy of this pin jointed frame, these are supports, right? This is not supposed to translate, right? So there is no degree of freedom at joint A and joint C, but the degree of freedom at joint B is in two directions. One is in the horizontal direction, the other one is in vertical directions, which we already know, right? So at every joint in a pin jointed structure, it will translate in two directions. One is X direction, the other one is in Y direction. So the degree of freedom at the joint B or in the entire frame will be of 2 degrees. One is joint B will translate in X direction, joint B will translate in the Y direction with respect to the coordinate system that I mentioned in the derivation also. So the while solving the derivation, I said that this side will be of positive direction, and in the upward side will be of positive direction. Okay, so these are the coordinate system we have. First thing what we need to identify is to first look at the length and what is the cross sectional area of individual members, and then we need to identify what is their relationship with respect to angle. Okay, so first let us solve this problem. While solving this data was not given to you, this angle was not given to you, only this frame was given to you, and value of areas were given to you. A1 and A2 was given, then the E value is also given to you. From this basic structure, we need to solve how much is the force that is created in member PA and BC using the stiffness method. Okay, let us start solving it. So first let us identify what is the theta values. Okay, we need to identify what is the theta value for member BC and for member BA. I told you previously also how in derivation how do we solve it. With respect to X direction, we will find out how much is the angle, right? So I have solved over here. In this figure you can see I have mentioned two coordinates, one coordinate which is in X direction, the other coordinate is in the second direction. So what will be the size of matrix here? The size of stiffness matrix will be 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so 4 terms will be there in the stiffness matrix. So we already know, we have solved the equation also previously. How do we solve the stiffness values? Okay, anyhow we will discuss that in detail later also. Okay, now first let us identify what is the theta angle. Okay, so this is your member BC. With respect to X direction, this is my X direction, I am trying to measure how much is my angle. Okay, so this is our theta. Now with respect to BA, and this is our X direction, I will measure how much is the angle here, which is 180 degree, which we already know. Now let us identify how much is this angle. So to solve this angle, we must know what is this interior angle is. So this interior angle can be solved by using the tan of theta. So tan of theta is equals to opposite by adjacent. Opposite is 3 and adjacent is 4. If you solve tan inverse of 3 by 4, you will get the theta value, which is the internal angle between member BA and BC. So once you solve this, 180 degree minus of this value will give you how much is this theta. So theta AB, which you already know, is 180 degree, and theta BC is 180 minus of 36.87, which is 143.3 degrees. Okay, now you remember this. So we have solved the values of theta. Next thing what we do is that I would like to explain this table. From this table we are going to solve for stiffness matrix, right? So I hope you all remember the equations that we solved for stiffness in the previous class. So what was the equation to solve it? The equation was like this. If you want to solve for K11, it will be like this: summation of AE into cos square theta divided by L, right? So if you want to solve K22, it will be summation of AE into sine square theta divided by L, and if you are solving for K21 or K12, it will be summation of AE into cos of theta into sine of theta divided by L, right? So these are the equations to solve the stiffness matrix. Okay, now in this we will separate out one by one. This summation is representing the summation of AE cos square theta by L for both the members. There are two members in this, so we will calculate how much is AE cos square theta for this member. Similarly, if AE by A into cos square theta divided by L we will do for this member, and if we sum this up we will get to know how much is K11. Similarly, to solve the K22, what we do is we solve how much is AE into sin square theta for BA member, we will solve AE into sin square theta for BC member, and if we sum it up we will get how much is K22. Similarly, we can solve for K21 and K12. Now observe this carefully. This table is something which will give you K11, K22, K21 and K12, right? So first of all, what is the common in all of these equations? The common thing is AE by L, right? So AE by L is there. So if there is only one joint in this condition, so I have not mentioned the joint. If there were more number of joints, I would have written the number of joints also. So right now we have only one joint, which is joint B, and joint B is connected by two members, which is BA and BC. So let us solve how much is AE by L for member BA, right? Similarly, we can solve the AE by L for member BC. So first let us look into AE by L for BA. A value is given to you, which is here, okay? Now similarly, L value you already know, and E value is also given to you, but you need to look into the conversion that is being done. Now let us take an example of this member, which is BC member. How much is the area here? Area here is 10 into 10 raised to 3 mm square. So this is in mm square, we need to convert this in terms of meter square. So see here, A2 is divided by 1000 square, it is getting converted into meter square. So once we solve this in meter square, the next step is to solve for E value, okay? So let us look into the E value. E value is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square is there. First we will convert this in terms of kilonewton per meter square, right? So 2 into 10 raised to 5 divided by 1000 will get converted into kilonewton. If I multiply 1000 square to it, it will get converted into kilonewton per meter square. So my E value is 200 into 10 raised to 6 kilonewton per meter square. So this is also in terms of kilonewton, and this is in terms of meter square. As we know, the load is also given in terms of kilonewton. Now we can see that there is a uniformity in all the units that we are using, okay? So A value was 0.01, E value is 200 into 10 raised to 6 divided by L. What is the length of the member BC? Length of the member BC is 5 meter. We have substituted here and we solved how much is A2 into E divided by LBC, which is 0.4 into 10 raised to 6. Similarly, we can solve for this member, which is our first member, which is BA. The length of the member BA is 4 meter, and A value, as we know, it is 200 into 10 raised to 3. You have to convert that in terms of your meter square. As we know already, E value, which is converted in kilonewton per meter square. You substitute those values in this equation and solve it. You will get to know that A1 into E divided by LAB will be 1 into 10 raised to 6. So we have solved A by L for both the members. So let us substitute here. So for BA, how much is A by L? 1 into 10 raised to 6. I have substituted here. So for BC member, how much is A by L? It is 0.4 into 10 raised to 6. Okay, we have already solved how much is theta value for member BC and member BA. For member BC, it is 143.3, and for member BA, it is 180 degree. Okay. Now next thing is to apply cos to these values. Write down. Similarly, apply sine to these slopes, and you write down how much is sine theta values. So once you have solved sine theta, cos theta and AE by L, you keep on solving for these columns. The first column will be AE by L into cos square theta. After that, we will have AE by L into sin square theta. Last column is AE by L into cos theta into sin theta. Okay. Now AE by L into cos square theta will give you this value. Similarly, you solve all the values in this table. So once you solve the values, what we do is that we take the sum of these two values. The sum of these two values is representing the summation of AE by L into cos square theta. So this value is representing AE by L into cos square theta. So now summation of AE by L into cos square theta is what? K11, right? So the K11 is how much we are getting? 1.256 into 10 raised to 6. See here, this is the stiffness matrix I have written. This is your K11. So K11, I have taken 10 raised to 6 common from all the terms. So what is your K11? K1 is 1.256, right? Now going to AE by L into sin square theta, right? We will take the sum of this. The summation of AE by L into sin square theta is representing K22. So where is K22? This is K22. So how much you are getting here? 0.144, 0.144. So as we know that K21 and K12 will remain same, and which is equals to summation of AE by L into cos theta into sin theta. So we need to take the sum of this, and the value that we are getting is minus 0.192. Let us substitute at K21 and K12. So this completes your stiffness matrix. Okay, so this table is helping you to solve the stiffness matrix. I hope if you remember these equations, you could be able to solve this diagram. If you can solve this table, and if you solve this table, you can solve the stiffness matrix. Okay, this is how we can solve the stiffness matrix. So once we have solved the stiffness matrix, what will be the next step? So the next step would be to solve the displacement matrix. So to solve the displacement matrix, what we do, we take the inverse of stiffness matrix multiplied by the force matrix. So let us try to identify what is the force matrix here. So the force matrix here, earlier when I used to calculate the force matrix, I used to take the negative of whatever the matrix that are right. Now here you don't do it. Earlier I used to take the fixed end moments and the reactions. Here I am directly taking the forces that are applied at the joint. So when you take any value which is directly applied at the joint, you should take it as positive itself, right? Whatever the value is there, you have to take the same value. Okay, now in the x direction, what is the value we have? There is no force here in the x direction, which is equal to 0, so that's why it is 0. Now look at this 10 kilonewton, whether 10 kilonewton is acting in the direction of coordinate or it is acting in the opposite direction. It is acting in the opposite direction, so that's why I am taking it as minus 10. See here one more time. In this method, while solving this stiffness, I am not using minus of this matrix. Previously, in all the videos, if I have solved continuous beam or if I solved sway frame or non-sway frame, I used to take negative of this matrix. Now you don't take the negative of that matrix. Why we are not taking the negative of matrix? Because we are directly using the applied forces at the joint. Okay, there we used to take the fixed end moments and reactions. Remember that. Okay. So this is the only change that will happen while solving the force matrix in pinch jointed structure. So 0, because 0 force is applied in the x direction, which is your first coordinate, and the second coordinate there is a 10 kilonewton applied, which is in the downward direction, which is negative to the coordinate system that we mentioned. So minus 10. Okay, so this completes our force matrix. So force matrix is there, stiffness matrix is there. Take the inverse of stiffness matrix, multiply with the force matrix, you will get to know how much is displacement matrix. So there are two displacements that we have calculated here. What are the two displacements? One is the displacement of joint B in x direction, and we have solved how much is the displacement of joint B in the y direction. So that's why I am calling it as dBx and dBy. So dBx and dBy will be these values. Okay. So now when you calculate these values, the next step would be to solve for your forces. So forces in member BA, we need to solve the force in the member BC. Now let us first look into the forces. Force that is generated at the member BA. First, I hope you all remember this equation that we have solved previously. In the previous video, I had solved the derivations of this. Okay, now PBA will be equals to A1 into E. A1 is the area of the member BA. E value is remaining constant. LAB is 4 meter. So we have already calculated this value. A1 into E divided by LAB. How much is that? This one. 1 into 10 raised to 6. Okay, dAx, what is dAx? Displacement at joint A in x direction. And what is dAy? Displacement at joint A in y direction. I told you joint A and joint C are fixed, they will not move, there will be no translation. Because of that, dAx and dCx, or what do you say, like dAy or dCy will be equal to 0. Okay, right. So dAx and dAy are 0. Now let us look at dBx. What is dBx? Minus 13.33. How much is dBy? Minus 87.22 into 10 raised to minus 6. So we know how much is cos of theta AB. Cos of theta AB is 1 and cos of theta, sin of theta AB is 0. Let us substitute all those values. So minus of minus 13.33 will give you plus 13.33 into 10 raised to 6 minus of multiplied by minus of 1. What is minus of 1? Minus of 1 is nothing but your cos of theta. Now, similarly here also dAy, which is 0, plus of because minus into minus will become plus, so 87.22 into 10 raised to 6 multiplied by 0. If you solve this, you will get to know how much is PBA. PBA is how much? Minus 13.33 kilonewton. So after solving what is the force in PBA, let us solve how much is the force in PBC. So while solving this, let us look into this equation. So PBC is equals to A2 into E divided by LBC. So what is A2 into E divided by LBC, which is 0.4 into 10 raised to 6, which we have solved in the table. Okay, now let us look at DCX and DCY. What is dcx? Dcx, I told you earlier, dcx and dcy will be equal to 0 because it is fixed. Okay, now we know how much is dbx and we know how much is dby. Let us substitute these equation, and we have solved how much is cos of theta bc, and we have solved how much is sine of theta bc from this table, and if we solve this equation we will get to know how much is pbc. Okay, so we have solved for pba and pbc. This is how we find out the forces in the member in the pin joint structure using the stiffness method. Okay, so if you find any difficulty in solving this problem, you can ask me the question in classroom or in YouTube comment section. Okay, right. So if you want me to conduct a interaction class, we can do an interaction class also. You just have to inform me. Okay, so if there is any problem that you find difficult to solve in the stiffness method, you send it to me so that I'll solve it and make a video of it and send it to you. Okay, thank you.